right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Decrypted session on a Friday afternoon. The time now is 9 minutes after 2. Welcome back, everyone. Good afternoon, and apologies for the delay. We just had a slight tech issue, but we are back. All right, welcome back to another one. The last one for this month, the month of Jan, has just flown by. All right, now we are getting up for the month of February. The markets are moving. We're going to talk about what happened in the last 24 hours. All right, you guys, if you guys kept an eye on the crypto, you will know that the market moved in the last 24 hours. The movements we spoke about are the movements, or the movements that happened are the movements we spoke about. All right, so before we get started, remember, if you guys want to sign up for a TDME account, the details are on the chat right now. Simply go to tdmarkets.io. That is www.tdmarkets.io. It will take you to this page where you can just read around, but just sign up and then log in, and then you are sorted. You will be requested to verify your details, of course, and yeah, you will be sorted after that, right? For any assistance, do contact us on care@tdmarkets.com. Now, let's get the session started. Crypto Decrypted, right? If you're joining us for the first time, what we do here, we are talking strictly about crypto, right? We are talking about crypto only. We do have the trading rooms on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are your traditional FX trading rooms. But here we are discussing crypto. We're talking about crypto, all things from fundamentals to sentiment to technicals, all right? So we're not going to waste time. We're going to jump straight into it. Before we do that, remember the session discussed, or the information discussed in the session, is our opinion and should never be construed as advice. All right, there we go. So let's get the session started, guys. I'm just going to go to my platform, my exchange. You guys have been watching us on Fridays. You guys know the exchange, how to use it, and so forth and so on. We also do have some education sessions that you can get access to, right? All you need is to sign up for an account, and then you will be able to get access to those sessions. All right, so let's first start with the fundamentals, guys. What has been happening? What is happening? I think let's first start there. All right, now we're gonna open this up. This is the liquidation heat map. We've been talking about the liquidation heat map on the previous sessions, and we're just gonna have a look at the last 24 hours. What happened in the last 24 hours? Now, this is what happened, right? Now, 1.8 billion orders, 1.8 billion positions, both long and short, have been liquidated, right? This is what happened in the last 24 hours. 1.8 billion of positions have been liquidated. Of those positions, $1.67 billion are long positions. Now, listen to this, right? $1.67 billion are long positions. So, which means a lot of long positions have been forcefully closed, right? Just a few short positions, but the majority of them are long positions. What does this tell you? It tells you that the market is still dropping, right? The market continues its bearish momentum. This is what it tells you. And then if you go through your, your net ETF net flows, if you look at this chart, you will notice that this week there's been low volume in terms of the inflows and outflows. There's been a lot of outflows this week, but the volume has been small, all right? So only looking at these two indicators, you will then understand that the momentum is still bearish. And then in terms of the ETF net flows, there's been a lot of outflows on BTC and Ethereum. So this tells you that the momentum is still bearish, all right? So this is enough, because the regulations and the other side of the fundamentals states that the market should be bullish. In fact, states that Bitcoin should be bullish. You look at the regulations, right? That was passed last year. You look at how banks, or what banks are doing. Banks or continue to expand their reserve, right, to buy lots of Bitcoin, and then you've got those big financial institutions that continue to also buy Bitcoin. All right, so I'm gonna open up the Bitcoin treasury for you guys to see. This is now Bitcoin holdings by a company, right? This is what I mean when I say companies continue to buy Bitcoin and reserve it, right? Store it and reserve Bitcoin. Now, The first one obviously is strategy, right? Strategy continues to buy Bitcoin, right? So fundamentals, the other side of the fundamentals states that Bitcoin, Ethereum should be going up, but at the moment it's going down. And remember, that is just pure manipulation, all right? So we're going to have a look at the charts now and try to make sense of what's happening on the charts. I'm going to start with Bitcoin since that takes a big chunk of the market cap. So Bitcoin dropped according to the analysis that we did the last time. All right, let me just open up this chart. There we go. I think it's nice and smooth. So the last time we spoke about Bitcoin, we said that if Bitcoin breaks below this zone, then we are likely going to get a push towards the downside. All right, that is the last time we spoke about Bitcoin. And we're seeing that happened. And in our opening bells, we've done a few updates. And then we said it's going to come back down to this low, or it's going to go back down to that low. All right. Now, we are going to discuss stable coins, which is another topic, right? Stable coins. We're going to discuss stable coins, just like how we discussed the inflows and outflows. I explained what it is, how it's used, and how you can use it. Stable coins is another topic within the crypto that we're going to still talk about. And then you guys will get an understanding of what USDT is, USDC is, what is ZARC. And in the UAE bank has approved a UAE stable coin, US dollar pegged stable coin. So at the moment, we've got USDT, we've got USDC, we've got ZARC. We are going to have USDU, right? We're going to talk about that. That is the information we're getting, that in the UAE will have its own US dollar pegged stable coin called the USDU, right? So stay in tune for that. So Bitcoin, so where is Bitcoin going? Bitcoin is easily coming back down to this low now, right? Bitcoin is easily coming back down to this low. The momentum is extremely bearish, and all we're doing here, guys, is just to follow the momentum, right? Just to follow the momentum. So once price drops down to this low, this specific setup would be done, right? This specific setup will be done. So we'll see what's going to happen from there, because that's a very strong rejection there. From there, there are two possibilities. Either we're going to get this or we're going to get this, right? But we're not going to discuss this at the moment. We'll talk about it later on, right? So yeah, so nothing unusual on Bitcoin at the moment. We are still watching out for that bullish run. At the moment, nothing unusual. We've been talking about this direction for the longest of time. All right. So this is where now we are going to get some profit taking around $80,606. $80,686. Right. So that's $80,686. So that's where the market is, or that's where we're anticipating the market to go. Right. The last time we spoke, we said it's going to go to 84,435. So it broke that level. Now we're going down to the second level. That's going to be our TP. All right. So there isn't much to do on Bitcoin except just to follow this trend. All right. And then we've got Ethereum. So let's have a look at Ethereum and see what has happened in the last 24 hours. It is also dropping. I'm just going to do update and see where our targets are. All right, let's do this. There we go. So Ethereum is coming back down to this low as well. Right, this low as well. This low is around 2,629. Let's say 30. Right, let's just run it off and say 30. So that's where this thing is going, right? And I'm gonna also show you another outlook. Also show you guys another outlook. So there's a possibility that the market is forming this. And this is an area of interest. An area of interest right here. There we go. So meaning to say that we would be looking for a retest of that low and a possible push towards the upside. You see that? I'm using this because I'm noticing the behavior of this market. The way the market is behaving is going down in what looks like a channel. So according to this channel, this last push towards the downside here, right? This is the last wave. And then from there, we're anticipating the market to change and push towards the upside. All right. So that is how Ethereum is looking at the moment. So I don't think there's going to be any trading opportunities to the downside. I would rather look for buys around the zone. I would rather look for buy opportunities here. All right, so that is what we're seeing at the moment on Ethereum. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, short term, we're anticipating momentum to push towards the downside. All right, and then you've got your meme coin. So I think just by looking at Bitcoin, you have an idea of how the meme coins are gonna react, right? Because at the moment, it's not altcoin season at the moment. So meaning that the altcoins are still bearish. If you look at your Cardano, your Solano, your meme coins, your Dogecoin, you will notice that the altcoins are still bearish, right? At the moment, I'm on Cardano. I'm looking at Cardano right now, and Cardano can easily take us back down to this low, right? It can easily take us back down to this low. This is how the market is moving at the moment, right? This is the current trend at the moment. So we're anticipating a new low, maybe a correction, and a new low until maybe price breaks towards the upside. That is kind of like a long-term forecast. All right. So at the moment, we are dealing with this price action. Let me go to the 4 hour. We are dealing with this price action at the moment where all of these corrections, right? All of these corrections are simply trading opportunities to the downside there, right? So one more push down. So we would then look for a correction and then a continuation down again. All right. That is what we would look for at the moment. So yeah, so Cardano is still bearish, just waiting for a correction, waiting for trading opportunities, and then we can then look for an opportunity towards the downside. So let's see if it's gonna retest that zone one more time. All right, so that is how Cardano is looking. So the idea here would be looking for an order like this, right? Maybe a stop loss, something like this. Let me see. Yeah, maybe a stop loss just above the resistance and take profit back down to this low, right? This would be the idea here that I would have. All right, so let's see what's going to happen, but momentum is still bearish. This will be the same with, or the same applies with Dogecoin as well, right? So if you look at Dogecoin, Dogecoin is still bearish as well. Let me go back to the daily time frame. Right, so just okay, so this is the daily time frame. All right, so Dogecoin is also bearish. What you can also do here is to look at this channel as well, right? What you can also do is just to look at this channel as well and then anticipate price to go back to the bottom of the channel. For as long as the market does not break out of this, then we want to trade in line with this, right? We want to trade in line with this. So the trend is bearish at the moment. Price just broke out of this structure here. Yeah, price just broke out of this structure here. So any correction, we will be looking for a continuation towards the downside. So the idea would be to look for an entry there, take profit down here, and then stop loss maybe just, yeah, above the trend line and the resistance zone. So something like this. This would be the idea, right? So the general direction is bearish. We're just waiting for a correction to form. All right, and then I'm not gonna go through all the altcoins, but just to give you guys a sense of how you would approach the fundamentals on altcoins is bearish. So we stick to that up until we get a change of structure, a change of direction. All right, and then here we've got Solana. Here we've got Solana. So with Solana, let me just do this. Great stuff. So with Solana just broke out of this, right? It was trapped in this zone. So it's trying to break out of this zone. So let me rather use lines instead of a zone. There we go. So it was trading within this. You see how we have these two tops and price went down, back down to this low. So this setup is done, right? This setup towards the downside is complete. So now what are we waiting for now? We are waiting to see if price will continue pushing down or if it will reject towards the upside, because these are the two possibilities. Either we're going to get this or we're going to get this, right? These are the two possibilities. So there isn't a proper setup at the moment. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we don't have a proper setup at the moment because we've got these two possibilities. So we just need to wait and see how price will react, right? We just need to wait and see how price will react from these two possibilities there. And that's basically setup. So we're just gonna look for our setups here, our entries, and we wanna go in. All right. So altcoins are bearish, right? Bitcoin is still bearish at the moment, but we're keeping a very close eye on Bitcoin, all right? And then you've got your Cardano, you've got your Ethereum that's also following Bitcoin. And yeah, so the same things we spoke about the last time are the same things we are talking about today, actually, because we've already done analysis. So we just follow in that direction. We just follow in that direction. So ladies and gentlemen, the fundamentals, the indicators are screaming bearish. We've got a lot of long positions that have been liquidated. We can also see that there's little volume of the net, of the ETF net flows, right? So this week, even though the volume was small, but there's been a lot of outflows, ETF outflows, right? Both on Bitcoin as well as Ethereum this week, okay? So, so the market is just bearish. It's just bearish, all right? So we are going to talk about stable coins because stable coin is something that's slowly taking over the world, right? Maybe you guys can do a bit of research on that, but we are going to have a session where we're going to talk about stable coins, how to transact in stable coins. We do have the ZAC, right? Our rand pegged stable coin, right? Our rand pegged stable coin. So 1 ZAC is equals to 1 rand, all right? So that's basically what it means. So we're going to discuss that as well, but you guys should have seen it on our social media, on our website. So yeah, so just be on the lookout for that. All right. And yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, so let's see. Will Solana go up for a trade towards the upside, or will it drop for a trade towards the downside? That is what we're trying to gauge at the moment. All right. So just stay tuned for more updates on this, and yeah, definitely we'll bring you guys more updates on the fundamentals as well as the technicals here. All right, yeah, so that is the technicals and the fundamentals, guys, right? This Friday afternoon we went over the fundamentals, we went over the technicals, so we're just waiting for the market to move. If you caught these opportunities, you should be a very happy person right now. All right. So guys, yeah, so that is the update for the Friday. Just a quick one from us this Friday. Let us meet again next week Friday for the crypto. And we also have the Tuesdays and the Thursdays trading room as well. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Stay safe. We'll catch you guys back again next week. Cheers.